It's mid-November. As we're coming into winter season, it was a little frosty this morning, but it's warming up nice now that the sun is out. But with the onset of these colder temperatures, it's the end of the garden, and we're pulling out the last of the Swiss chard, tops off of beets, things like that, and feeding them to the rabbits. And I realized that as we're coming into our winter prep for the rabbits, that we never really revisited discussion on our rabbits after sort of talking about downsizing. As I'm sure you've noticed as you've watched our videos, we haven't downsized the rabbits. This has been kind of an ongoing discussion back and forth because we had the Kuni pigs, and it was going to kind of come down to, do we need the rabbits if we have the pigs? And for months it was deliberation, back and forth on just what way to go. And of course we love the pork products, so the pigs were winning, and that was why the discussion had started on the rabbits and downsizing them, just because we did not need them. Well, we're glad we didn't, because we actually, after a lot more investigation, a lot more thought, and a lot more financial exercises, made the decision not to keep the pigs. So we are certainly glad we still have the rabbits, and now we're starting on planning our 2022 herd and finishing up butchering and just kind of figuring out what we actually need. But I'll kind of talk you through that a little bit as we look at some of the rabbits here. This here is Steve. As you can see, Steve has a wonderful mixture of greens. He's got some beet tops, some Swiss chard, and a little bit of our sugar beet tops, which obviously are a favorite. But Steve is one of our bucks that we decided to keep. He was a wonderful breeder, and the ladies seem to, he's trying to get out. The ladies seem to like him. So as you can see, he's gorgeous. Does need his nails done. That is all part of the winter prep. When it comes to getting the bunnies ready for winter, basically we are planning this year. Hi, Sylvie. Of course, Sylvie's. Where are you? Here, get on the camera, Sylvie. Come here. There, Sylvie. Hey, I know. She's certainly not camera shy. But as we get into planning our 2022 flock herd of rabbits? Yes, our herd. We are discussing keeping 4 of our senior does and 4 young ones from them to be breeders next year. The plan when we were talking about downs, Sylvie, you're not helping. You're not. Okay, we're gonna move away from the hutches where she can't get me. Can't get me now. Right now, what we're looking at keeping is our 4 senior does and our 4 young that we have from them. I have 1 doe that I do not have a daughter from, so she's going to be a single on that line. Darn it, look at this cat. Yeah, you're even climbing the little fence. I tried to get away from you. I was trying to get away from you. Oh, and here comes another one. Coming down the path. Oh boy, you can't escape cats around here. Anyways, this is a rabbit video, not a cat video. When we were discussing downsizing, we were going to take it down to just the 4. We're still going to keep the 4 lines, but we were only going to keep 1 rabbit from each line and just hope that we never lost that lineage, I guess you could say, which is very far-fetched. You're going to have losses, but it was kind of a gamble we were going to take and see how it went. But we're still have what we have, so we're going to keep going with our plan now with the 4 senior and 4 junior does. And then unfortunately I already did downsize to only my 3 bucks, so I am going to be on a mission to pick up another buck line, because we made the decision to go down to 3 when we were downsizing, and now I wish I had kept the 4th. So there will be 4, it's just not 4 right now. But that's going to leave us with 11 rabbits to look after and maintain over the winter in our breeding flock, which I think is very doable. But one of the things that is part of prepping for winter is things like doing their nails, moving the hutches to new more sheltered location. Our whole property is quite sheltered, but as you can see, these hutches are a little bit out here and exposed. Now, saying that, we did winter most of these out here last year and had no problems, but I think we have a plan to move them a little closer to the barn for this year, just to be in a little bit more of a protected area. But These Champagne d'Argents are extremely hardy. That's one of the things that we absolutely love about them. So part of the issue with how we keep our rabbits is because they are outside completely, basically like a wild rabbit, in the sense that they're exposed to all the temperatures and the lighting changes and all that sort of stuff, is they do become quite seasonal. And that was one of the biggest issues in our mind with keeping them, was that they became a seasonal animal like so many others on the farm. And then you ended up with all your babies needing to be born at one part of the year. And that was where we kind of hit a roadblock, because that meant if we wanted to produce 80 rabbits to butcher, you needed to have 8 does in order to average it at 6 kits a litter. Going to go on the lower side, just, because that's how you always average things, because if you go high, it's going to be low. But anyways, what we're finding is in our system, we get 2 litters out of a rabbit a year. We may be able to push it to 3 with a little bit of organization, but for right now, our plans are all banked on 2 litters. So that means each rabbit is going to produce about 12 babies a year. Now, we do sell some, so that takes a little bit out of the totals of what you have. But I do think that 8 rabbits producing 12 each should put us around the 100 mark, give or take a little bit, which should work quite nicely. And that's what we're going to try this year, and we're going to document that and see how we do. What we have found now is we need some more infrastructure. Our grow out hutch seems to be insufficient in size for once these bunnies get going. These bunnies get big, and we do tend to butcher late. Which means they're even bigger. So we're looking into some new designs on hutches. If anybody has any great links or videos that we should maybe watch to check out for some ideas, certainly put them in the comments below, because we are always out for new things to try with this. We love the hutches. We do not do tractoring or growing out in a communal pen, that sort of stuff. We don't do that sort of thing. So we're looking for sort of an off-ground, big hutch, mega hutch, if you will. So that's our mission for this winter, is to come up with that. We're so lucky that we have the barn behind here, that we can work on these things even in the middle of winter time. We can do some building projects and get things going on that, so that come spring we're ready, because we want to be ready to breed early so that we can for sure get that 2, and maybe try to push for the 3 litters this year. But anyways, this was not an in-depth video on that. It was just kind of showing that we are sticking with the rabbits. We have plans for where the rabbits are going to go this year coming up. And hopefully we can improve on some of the faults that we found in them and share that with you, because I'm sure other people that work with this breed have, a similar situation develop. If you're keeping these bunnies outside, which is what they're meant for, they are a hardy rabbit. That's why we chose this breed. I mean, we're in, Eastern Ontario in Canada, and we get -30 for a good stretch of 3 weeks, maybe, of the year. And obviously on and off you get that as well. But these bunnies are amazing. The Champagne d'Argents are able to really adapt to those swings in temperature that we seem to have. They have a lot more trouble with heat than they do with cold, which is, I suppose, good in our climate, although we are starting to have some really, really warm days in the summer as well. We just wanted you to know that we have decided to stay with the rabbits, and we have decided to keep pushing to improve and expand on it. And we're going to share those journeys and our thoughts with you, and really kind of fine-tune our rabbit enterprise, if you will. Not that we use it for selling purposes or that sort of thing, but it is still something that at the homestead level, we've managed to get genetic sustainability. We have, like I say, everything that we need here, except for I did downsize to the $3, which I'm unhappy about. So I do want to eventually source another one. I just have to figure out where I can get one that's not related to ours. But that's another topic entirely. So anyway, stay tuned for some updates on the rabbits and a few things of what we've changed on our hutches and feeding regimes. We're going to start up some a fodder system. We used to do that a couple years ago at our old place. We haven't attempted the fodder really since we moved here. We started when we first came, and it was just sort of one of those, now Blue's here. Hey, Blue. At the time, it just didn't seem to be working for us, so we ditched the idea of doing it. And now we're back on track, and we want to do some more of the, mixing it up, trying to find the most efficient and inexpensive ways to feed this herd without, jeopardizing any of the important things that they need. So stay tuned for that. And like I say, if you have any tips or favorite videos on how to house your rabbits, the hutches, we're looking for something for a mega hutch kind of grow out. So certainly put those in the list below. And for all of our viewers that enjoy the rabbit content, stay tuned, because we are not getting out of that, and there will be more to come as we plan for the winter.